Schindler's List is a 1993 Hollywood movie which is set in German-occupied Poland during World War II. It follows the story of Oskar Schindler, a German businessman who uses forced Jewish labour in his factory. Schindler becomes increasingly concerned about his Jewish workforce after watching their persecution at the hands of the Nazis. Schindler works with his Jewish accountant, Stern, to employ as many Jewish people in his factory as possible so that they avoid the concentration camps. This movie proves to be an excellent tool for discussing and considering diversity, not only during World War II but in our own society. Smith discusses the diversity triangle, that for a film to be truly diverse, it must include a diverse creator, diverse characters, and diverse characterization. In terms of its creator, this movie was directed by Steven Spielberg, who is Jewish, and its screenplay written by Steven Zaliman, who is Armenian. Both came from cultures that experienced genocide. This is in keeping with Smith's assertion that we need people telling their own stories and exploring intersections of oppression. When we think about characters, the film does well to demonstrate the diversity within the Jewish community. The Jewish people depicted are male, female, young and old. There is a man with a disability, there are the wealthy and the not so wealthy. They are not defined as marginalised identities. Again, with characterisation in this movie, the characters are not defined solely by the trait of being a member of a marginalised community. While the German soldiers do their best to dehumanise the Jewish people, Steven Spielberg has done his best to demonstrate that these people were individuals with their own interests, passions, strengths and weaknesses. Germans, on the other hand, are seen as quite a homogenous group. This is a good discussion point in class. This film fits very well into the Year 10 history curriculum, supporting the development of both historical knowledge and skills. In terms of historical knowledge, we examine the significant events of World War II, including the Holocaust and the use of the atomic bomb. In terms of historical skills, we evaluate the reliability and usefulness of primary and secondary sources, identify and analyse the perspectives of people from the past, and identify and analyse different historical interpretations, including the student's own. There is a strong emphasis in the history curriculum on identifying different perspectives and historical interpretations and considering how they impact on how history has been represented, whose history has been told. This complements a discussion about diversity very well. Who is telling the story? Who is the story about? Who is left out of the story? Who did we see that we did not expect to see? How could the story be told differently from a different perspective? I plan on using Bloom's revised taxonomy to structure the students' thinking about diversity in the context of Schindler's List and World War II. Over a sequence of lessons, students will be encouraged to use both lower and higher order thinking skills, scaffolded by a series of activities. The activities also plan with differentiation in mind, including an inclusive pedagogical approach. A whole class discussion will encourage students to both remember and understand how the movie dealt with diversity. Students will then move on to applying this knowledge by creating a concept map. Next, in pairs, students will select a scene from the movie and each pick a different character. They will write a one-paragraph diary entry from the perspective of that character and then swap entries and discuss how their character's diverse perspective led them to the scenario, see the scenario in a particular way. In the next lesson, students will use higher order thinking skills to write an essay under test conditions. Finally, as an assignment, students will be asked to create. They will select a scene from the movie and rewrite the scene from the perspective of a director or writer who comes from a different background. They can present this task as a script, a storyboard, a video, or a cartoon script. At the end of this sequence of lessons and activities, students will have achieved the learning intention of using Bloom's taxonomy to structure their thinking about diversity using the film Schindler's List as a resource within the context of learning about World War II.